Ya, bueno. Nada, hay que seguir. Ah, miren, acá está el cerdo, a ver.
Thanks for sending me here. It's quite beautiful, isn't it? I've prayed to Amadia real hard, but I'm not sure it's done much good. Still, a wizard trapped in a pig's body. Any ideas? Oh, what a grand idea! I'll try that. What's the worst that could happen?
No creo que pase nada. Está curando, también lo transforma.
Amadia, you have heard my prayers.
¿Sabes dónde está? Nada.
Well, hello. May you walk with Amadia. Oh, I'm a wizard. And I was a long time ago, too. In between, I was a pig. And I was on fire for most of that time. It's a long story, but I think I'll leave it in the past and look to the future instead. Of course. Bye now.
A moment's pause. I had thought us too wicked for... Unless you love the idea of a life knee-deep in swamp water, I suggest we look for a ship. So they are. My arms are gravestones, many a lost soul's last rest. One day I'll know who they were, the ones on my right arm. And one day, they'll all be dead. the ones on my left. They are the ones I was forced to kill. I don't know why. I can't recall. But I kept their names, and with their names, I will honor them. The Master. A lizard, but not any lizard. A spectre in the flesh, a man with no name. A darker shade in shadows. If he be a demon, as the frightened claim, I will be a demon hunter. If he be a god, as the cowering claim, I will be a godslayer. Until it is over, I will be nothing but vengeance. A day on the beach I'll be after.
She returns your smile, though you can read the skepticism in her eyes.
A lovely little promise to make. A thorny one to keep. We'll see how bloodied you're willing to get to pluck the one rose lost in a forest of daggers. Still, I do appreciate the sentiment. Those are the breadcrumbs, torn and tossed aside along the long road to the Master. They are inconsequential, candles snuffed out by a brighter flame, if I do say so myself. In a final heartbeat. Why did you assume I wouldn't? The only thing that springs eternal is blood from gushing wounds. And water from springs, of course, and flowers from the ground, but you catch my drift. One must cull to cultivate. Huh, hardly. I walked up to the quay, asked for the ship to Fort Joy, and declared myself a sorcerer. I'm here to hunt, remember? Here to play a game of tic-tac-terminate with a special certain someone. My, I did get you all worked up, didn't I? Afraid you won't be able to sleep tonight?
She pulls her hand away, quickly and violently, as if bitten by a snake.
I'm sorry. I don't know why I did that. I suppose I'm a bit skittish from time to time. Skittish like a cat that's seen too much unkindness. You see, there's triplets in my mind. The woman I am, the woman I must be, the woman I long to be. Like all sisters, they do tend to be at odds with one another. From time to precious time. If the present is all that matters, you must take me as I am. Sunshine and shadow, both. You can see what I can do. What comes as easily as a morning's yawn or a rush of blood in the presence of beauty. This, you must accept. Thank you. How romantic a concession, to let a woman kill when she so pleases.
One of her eyebrows arcs, like a cat arching its back, ready to scratch.
A touchy subject, I warn you. It didn't exactly feel like a kiss, but the true pain came after, when I lost all of my own volition. I served but the Master. The Master and none but he. Touchy subject. I did warn you.
Sabine looks at the flask with surprise, but accepts it with a nod and takes a long draught.
My word, warms the heart and everything else besides. Thank you. I needed a bit of good cheer, so cheers.
And there goes the rest of your bottle.
You don't say. I too had the pleasure. Of course, when I say pleasure, I mean the distinct dishonor. Like death and desperation. I'd rather not talk about it.
She hesitates, but you can tell she wants to speak.
The thing is, Dilius, the old father, the Golden Leaf, he wants me to become the next divine.
Her eyes fix on some unseen thing of darkness.
Beware of gods bearing gifts. Divinity. And yet, he treated me... Exactly. His was an exercise in power, brutal, like all true power is. His was a lesson, meant to discipline, not to edify. Why would I obey such a god? Like I said, beware of gods bearing gifts. Divinity. One word and it makes you drunk already.
I must say, I was hoping to enjoy a smug advantage over everyone else. Lacking skin may make me a target for mortals, but I am mercifully immune to mosquitoes. However, they are infuriating when they get in one's skull. I can barely hear myself think. Given enough time, I could walk from this island to the shore. But time is in short supply. I must procure a quick way off this island, and that means procuring a ship. While there are certain unsightly bulges in your clothing, I doubt you are hiding an entire boat in there. It seems supporting the Seekers in their fight to take the Lady Vengeance is the path to follow. I fell victim to the enemy of all great minds. Fear of the unknown, fear of change. These are the things that poison civilizations. I was on the cusp of a glorious breakthrough, but my king's fear held me back. I discovered a veil hanging across the universe, a barrier of pure source. It was amazing. The kind of discovery on which a civilization turns. Who knows what secrets may have been hidden behind that curtain? But Mike, do you know, I never thought to ask. Between him purging me and casting me into a traitor's tomb. What a foolish oversight! If only I'd had your prescience and curiosity, I could have saved myself centuries of pondering that very question. Well, certainly he was not pleased with my insistence that we investigate. But the king's word is law. Was law. But the reason I was purged was slightly less intellectual. After the king refused to let me investigate the veil, I brought the issue up with others. The Seven Lords. Beneath the king in authority, but far above me. I brought them my research. I showed them everything. I had hoped they would help me convince the king of his error, but before they or I could act, I was arrested and... well, my sentence was carried out. I mean, yes. I suppose you could have drained the power from it, but that would have weakened it significantly. It would be quite irresponsible. After all, the power of the thing is not the point. It hid something. Who knows? The secrets to the universe could have lain behind that curtain. But I was not given the chance to find out. Now, I fear I never will. He ceased to be my king the moment he turned on me. I did nothing wrong. All I wanted was to further the knowledge of the Eternals. Who knows? Had I been allowed to continue my studies, perhaps I could have warded off whatever catastrophe befell them.
The skeleton stands quietly for a moment.
I'm not sure. Centuries in a tomb can warp one's memory. I remember the big things, of course. My library, my home, my king, my family. But the rest, it's all covered in a fog. And the more I see of this world, the thicker that fog seems to get. Once I would have boasted that it was the best form of government. Indeed, it was the only form of government we knew. Living forever under the rule of a wise king is one thing. But if that king should turn into a despot, if he should reject philosophy and the natural arts for the sake of power, well, I cannot imagine a worse torture. I was a scholar, researching the secrets of the universe. Had I been allowed to proceed, my people could have ascended to godhood as one. An entire race of deities, with a perfect understanding of the universe. It would have solved all of our problems. Indeed you cannot. Nothing in this world compares to it. We crafted our homes from stone and crystal, using the power of the universe itself to keep them in place. Your people, on the other hand, seem quite content to sit about in smoking hovels, held together by straw and filth. It's a mercy I don't have a nose. I cannot imagine how you stand it. They came rather low in my life, alas. My wife and daughter always had to compete with my work for my attention, and my work was always stiff competition. They were often neglected. I wonder how many more years they spent neglected before. Well, before whatever happened, happened. Well, of course it is. It was crafted with care. 100% ethically harvested from mortals, too. The quality is second to none. Oh, you simply wait until the creature is dead, preferably of natural causes. Although that does limit your choices somewhat. You may end up with quite a few sagging faces. I will never understand why you have so readily accepted aging, or digestion. They are frightful pastimes. Up to a point, certainly. They are frightfully loud, but the selection afterwards is quite good. The faces are often what you might call fixer-uppers, but they're young and quite serviceable, if you get them before the flies do. Poison is preferred, of course. No marks to the face, the subject can be of any age, and death is often quite peaceful. Not for them, of course, but it's significantly more relaxing for me. Indeed, so I gathered from your earlier prattling. I also met someone. Oh no, she was a god, by your standards. When I wore flesh, I knew her as the Lady Armadia. She was one of the 7 lords that served our king. Oh no, they're quite gone. The 7 seem to be all that remains, and they... Well, I'm not sure what they are. Not quite gods, but not quite eternals. No, they are something else entirely. Naturally, they acted as any lords would. They bowed to their king and sneered at their lessers. And there was an awful lot of sneering, even back then. One can only imagine how much there is now. Oh, what do you want from me? I'm not here to gossip and titter about my lords. If you wish to know what they were like, you need only to look at yourselves. Each of the races were crafted not just in the image of their gods, but in their temperament too. Vrogir was large and strong as his orcs. Zantezza quick and witty as an imp. And Rallic prone to bouts of fighting and boasting, much like every human I've ever encountered. You were crafted as an act of ego, but one can hardly hold that against the creatures. Yes, well, if you are quite finished wasting my time, I believe we have some business to get on with. What would I do? Oh, dear heart, it is not a question of would. It is a question of what will I do. It is only fitting, after all. You worshipped the Eternals as gods. Why not follow one as divine? The Lady Armadia has laid out the plight of the world and begged me to help fix it. It is a grave responsibility, but one that I gladly accept. Yes, and how is that working out, I wonder? Perhaps if your precious Lucian had been a little less mortal, you would still have a divine, and the Voidwoken would not be trying to chew on my bones. Honestly, you turn your back for just a few millennia, and the world goes to stink.
Yes. Is it nothing's changed but for our surroundings? We're still on an island, in dire need of making for the mainland. Perhaps we simply ought to hug the coast in search of a ship. Oh, don't tell me you've never heard the stories. The tale of my birth has been a bedtime staple for years. A dinner party favorite. Cute. Very well then, listen closely. One day a red sun rose, turning the desert sands into a blood-colored sea. When my mother, roused from dreams, beheld this crimson dawn, she knew the time had come and promptly gave birth to me. The sun rose to its zenith, but there settled, refused to descend towards the beckoning dusk. Instead, she hung there for 7 days and 7 bright, starless nights. So enamoured was she with her little red prince. Indeed, I've been a married man since the day I was born, for they call me the spouse of the sun. She who is all life and beauty, she whose colour I wear not in cloth, but in skin. Isn't it just? A beautiful, beautiful story.
He laughs wryly, baring rows of shark-like teeth.
There are those who believe that little legend, you know. I'm not one of them. To tell you the truth, I've no idea why I'm red, but I do fancy I was rather lucky to be born a prince. My heritage made people celebrate my uniqueness. Had I been common-born, they might have just drowned me in a well. Why, thank you. You'll find I don't live up to expectations with remarkable frequency. Case in point is that I have a high opinion of myself because of my unparalleled skills and intellect, not because of the bed I was born in. Though I won't go so far as to deny absolute wealth has its perks. Absolute power, for instance. No wonder I seek my way back to the throne. More glorious than you could ever imagine. More glorious than I wish to recall here. Ask me again once we escape, and I'll tell you tales that will last us 1,000 nights.
The Red Prince takes on a reserved air, and you've the feeling he'd blush if such a thing could be noticed.
Secret of my soul, I said. What poppycock. Doesn't sound like me at all, not in the slightest. So drop it. Indeed. Rallick, if I'm not mistaken. Always was rather the slow sibling in the Pantheon, wasn't he? Quite so. I suppose you too met with somewhat of a disappointment. For we do have to wonder, can a god be called a god still if they have to plead with another to assume the powers they seem to have lost? Of course I did. Only I'm not foolish enough to let it buy my loyalty.
Ya, bueno, ya hablé con todo. Que también eso no, lo tenía que hacer. Ahora, ¿qué me falta? Me falta esto que es de más adelante. Esto, lo de las esporas, semillas de poder. Supone que ya encontré una, pero no. Todo esto, bueno, es de la fuga. Escapa de la isla. Él es de la casa de la zona. Pero no sé, hay cosas que todavía no sé, la verdad. Supone que me dio una ballesta y me dio... Y esta fecha de enero, pero... No sé, como dije, hay cosas que no... La verdad. Lo otro es, por ejemplo, que ella
The others have gone to get us a ship out of here.
Bueno, voy a grabar nomás. Porque aquí ya no sé qué más me pueda faltar, la verdad. Tal vez, porque el tipo que me dio esa misión está acá. Pero yo no he visto a Alexandra, honestamente.
Need supplies? Be quick about it, little wolf. Precious wares, are they not? Until we meet again, Ben Mist.
Deplorable surroundings.
¿De dónde está Alexandra? Como que no te dicen, o sea, no te dicen del todo, ¿me entiendes? Pues, bueno, a ver. Para se va a dar cuenta, Si me alejo, no se da cuenta.
The seeker is silent, apart from the shallow rattle of his breathing.
Y acá hay alguien.
Careful. I've spotted a trap.
What the fuck? Casi me mataron. Me tuvo que haber pegado.
Oh, shite. I figured it was only a matter of time. I'm ready to pay the price. Sorcerers have done worse to me. If I die, then at least I die with a clear conscience. I owe Alexander everything.
Ah, mira.
I don't regret standing by him.
Ahora, yo no creo que pueda usar un arco, la verdad. Creo que esta fue la ballesta que me dio. Probablemente. ¿Será obligatorio matarla con...? Eso no creo, ¿no? Que bueno, estaba espiando. Para esta habilidad no me sirve de nada, bueno, eso. Estaba observando, ¿no? Las huevas aquí. Bueno, hablemos con él.
Oh, you gave me a fright sneaking up like that. How can I help you?
Ahora son carísimas cada una de estas.
Goodbye.
Y acá acá es imposible que le pueda.
Did you see what those magisters did? Putting our dead on display like hunting trophies.
You would attack the magisters directly. Are you so eager to die, Seeker? You cannot stand against the Shriekers.
I pray this goes well. I'd hate to think what'd come of Leia if we don't pull this off.
Those magisters are gonna regret they ever laid eyes on us.
It doesn't feel quite right, but
You would attack the magisters.
I need all the equipment I can
Are
find.
you so eager to die, Seeker?
So many Seekers lost, and more blood will be spilled before long. At least Han is safe at the shelter.
Kerban stares at the body of his dead comrade, tightly gripping his weapon in a cold fury.
This won't go unavenged. I'll see to that.
Are you so eager to die, Seeker? You cannot stand against the
todavía no
Shriekers.
quiero hablar
Not
con
without
el
stronger weapons than these.
fuerte de la misión.
It's a good thing my injuries have healed. I wouldn't want to miss my chance to avenge our fallen.
Gratiana's head is bowed. From within her mask, you can hear the whispered words of a prayer. She falls silent, turning to face you.
It would be a sweet joy to see the magisters chased from this land. But I fear all I will see today is death. You have? That's wonderful, of course. But tell me, did you see anything else? Did you find any soul jars? They are relics of great power. Please, you must give them to me. If I can make an offering of them to Armadia, it could aid your cause.
Ahora me está mintiendo porque en realidad esos son sus... Ella está atrapada en este mundo. Por eso así.
She reaches greedily for the jar, tearing the cap off. You see a green glowing light emerge from the jar, enveloping Gratiana.
By Armadia, I feel wet. Oh, Goddess, I can feel your tears upon my face. I suppose you deserve to know. Before I knew Armadia's grace, I was a very different person. I was the concubine of Brachus Rex. But more than his lover, I was his partner. I discovered his power to feed on the source of others, and I allowed it to... No, I made it happen. You don't understand. No one understands. My heart held such fear, but with Brachus I was safe. He needed me, and I needed him. As his strength grew, so too did mine. There is nothing you cannot do when you sit on the lap of a powerful king. And I did it all. But power changes a man, as he changes his nation. Brachus grew paranoid, angry, murderous. Armadia, forgive me. It's true. As he grew distant, I just pushed harder. I gave him more and more, trying to win him back to me. I offered him the source of whole villages. He devoured them and demanded more. The lands outside were once green and beautiful, until I came. Until I turned them over to him. Now all's poison, and the dead are restless.
There would be justice in that. My crimes were great, but in Armadia's grace I find forgiveness. I found this shrine while hunting a band of wizards. I found the goddess weeping for her children, and I wept too.
She pauses for a moment. If she had eyes, you're sure she'd be wiping them.
Through Armadia I saw my sins, and I could bear it no longer. I threw myself from the cliff at the entrance. I tried to rid the world of my evil, but Brachus would not allow it. He brought me back from the Hall of Echoes, locked my soul away, and demanded my obedience. Even in death he commanded me. Only when 2 source hunters ended his curse was I free. Since then, I have returned here and spent centuries trying to heal the pain I've caused. And now...
She drops the now empty soul jar to the ground, smashing it to pieces with her foot.
You have my thanks, brother. Thank you for your wisdom and for your bravery. Go...
Pues realmente, como dije, es una santa.
If I were you, I'd stay close to Sir Gareth once the fighting begins. Whatever path he takes will be the surest way to victory.
The battle nears. Good to have you with us.
You've come. Lucian be praised.
Gareth glances over his shoulder, and his voice tightens.
The Shriekers keep watch, and their gaze isn't the only one we should avoid. The murderer is here. Alexander. The butcher's in the ruins, beyond the Shriekers, and he's not alone, as well he wouldn't be. The Order keeps its godwoken leashed. Nothing, as long as those Shriekers stand. Get that purging wand and silence them. If I didn't know better, I'd think the gods themselves were your counsel.
He reaches for the wand, but pulls back before touching it.
Would that I could aim this wand at Alexander myself, to bleach his soul and sear his skin. No, this thing was birthed from a wicked era. What would Lucian say, seeing me confront one evil with another? Go, take down those Shriekers.
Ahora, lo que no sé es cuál es la varita purificada. Que no sé. Ahora se habrá actualizado algo. Supongo que, bueno, hay cierto, esto por lo menos sigue más adelante. Semillas de poder no tengo idea. O sea, creo que esta misión es la de la armadura. La de la tipa esta. Lo que no sé es... esta varita. Esa no es la varita. Yo decía, no me acuerdo cuál verga es la varita. Tiene que ser O tal vez una de estas. Creo yo. Varita purificada, tiene que ser eso. Probablemente.
May Armadia's grace keep us safe.
Ahora,
Praise be! You have silenced the shriekers and cleared our way. Yet it seems I'm in need of you again, my friend. You have any more miracles in you? We've got a boat ready to row to the Lady Vengeance. But if Alexander sees us bobbing among the waves, we'll be shark chow. So we split up. I take the Seekers to the Lady Vengeance. You go to the ruins and keep Alexander busy. He'll be expecting a breeze. Show him that you're a hurricane. Are you ready? We've got right on our side. A greater ally than any sulking Geist or any whinging Magister.
He takes the news calmly. A moment passes as he calculates the consequences, assessing this new world as it opens up before him. He nods his thanks, then raises his voice.
Seekers, we move. You are Lucian's eyes and ears. You are his sword and his shield. Burn the blackness with your holy fire!
ahora este es el capítulo 2. Vino el dragón, dirígete a la playa, sale en el caballo dragón, destruyó a toda la costa, camina. Veamos, quiero ver si es que estás acá, porque parece que ya. La costa, ¿no? O tal vez este es el barco, pero no estoy seguro. O no está marcado. No creo que sea acá. Ahora, tengo esa marcada de misión con Leia. No sé qué será lo de Leia, la verdad.
And the stone there is a curious color, as though it was added after the statue was carved. A chunk of stone falls from the statue. There's something hidden inside.
Nice.
no lo había visto, la verdad. Estas son 1, 2, 3, 4. Un use of todo, ¿no? O falta algo. O sea, realmente tienes que mirar muy bien antes de avanzar. O sea, si quieres completar, no digo el 100% porque es mucho, pero una parte, ¿no? Una parte, ¿no? No es tan fácil. Aquí podría haber evitado esta pelea. Por tocarlo. Puedo cargar la partida igual. Que claro, por ejemplo, este personaje diría que se cayó. Por eso le compré este skill, porque al final te ayuda mucho. Al otro. Quería pegarle. La mierda, va. Que le pegue. Voy a resbalar igual. Resbalo. Ah, voy a intentar, porque es que es lo único que me queda. Puede que me resbale.
mine.
啊
You sense a great whirl of energy within the jar. The object and what lies inside are in your hands. Something inside you strains. You are replete. You cannot absorb more source. You sense a great whirl. The object and what...
O sea, hay unos malos y unos... Algo de experiencia no me viene mal. No le hace nada.
Prepare yourself.
Meet your maker.
Falta uno.
I'll yield to none.
O sea, ya me pude haber ido hace rato. Pero... he querido como revisar lo último que falta. Que me podrían estar faltando. Definitivamente algo se me va a olvidar. Pienso que vaya a sacar todo. Dudo que saque todo. Hay una cosa que no vi. Una cosa más que no vi que debería ver. Ahora la vamos a ver. Porque se lo juro que realmente ahí, esta parte de aquí, ya me di cuenta. Y aquí hay otra cosa que ahora lo vi en un video. Vamos a ver. Acá encontramos a la mano, me acuerdo. Pero no llegamos a revisar todo. No me acuerdo si es... Creo que es... es solamente...
The deity's head and hands are missing, severed as if by a sword. You can't tell if this was meant to be symbolic somehow, or a mere act of vandalism.
Miren, o sea, para que vean, acá he vuelto varias veces y acá está, miren, el corazón.
Good find.
Y ahí está toda la armadura. No la había visto. Estoy seguro. Es que, por eso digo, hay que mirar bien. Yo aquí... Esto es una armadura que es la semilla del poder. Esto hay que matar a una tipa más adelante. Esto hay que seguir avanzando en la historia. Bueno, esto ya sabemos que es como... Lo de la isla y la parte. Esto escapa de la isla, está bien. De la casa de la azul. Esto más adelante yo creo que es. Esto ya está cerrado, esto escapa de la isla. Esto es ahora porque hay que matar a Alexandra. Y eso sería. Pero vuelvo a decir, o sea, tengo que ser más cuidadoso porque estaba acá y también se me había quedado el tarro acá y no la vi. No me fijé. Digo que hay que bastante bien. No. ¿Sabes? Y yo ya lo veo.